Alright, Shalom. I'm the brother Tasiyat, coming back with another video. But before I start off, I would like to give all praises and the highest honor to the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Makakodash. I want to give double honor to my elder apostles and teachers of Great Millstone, and peace and salutation to the sincere Akiam across the world, who are spreading this knowledge in truth and sincerity. And may the election be upon your households. Shalom. Okay, so today I want to make a video about not telling your wife everything, not telling her all of your business as a man, all right? Sometimes you might have arguments and certain things that you might have told her, in trust, all of a sudden she's using it against you in an argument, Plus, women, if they know it or not, they like a bit of mystery. So if you tell them everything, they also lose respect for you, because they already know what you're doing. They are not afraid of losing you, he's there at work, okay, And then after a while, it might be, getting so-called boring, and they looking for more adventure or whatnot, more mystery, So sometimes it's good to also not just tell everything to your wife. Okay, of course you have certain things you can discuss, you see, but today I want to read an example concerning Samson, okay, which we all know. Samson, he was very strong, and he told the woman that he loved, whose name was Delilah. He told her his secret about where his strength was. And the enemy spoke to Delilah, to persuade Samson in telling her, what his secret is. And that got him killed in the end, if I'm correct, So it can be very serious, okay? Anyway, let's read the chapter of Judges 16. Okay, it has, 31 verses, but it's just the story about Samson, and then I'm gonna grab some scriptures to show you also what I was speaking about. So it says here, Judges chapter 16, verse 1. Then went Samson to Gaza, and saw there an harlot, which is a hoe, and went in unto her. So he had intercourse with her. And it was told the Gazites, those are just the people, living in Gaza, saying, Samson is come hither. And they compassed him in, and laid wait for him all night in the gate of the city, and were quiet all the night, saying, in the morning, when it is day, we shall kill him. So they was lurking to kill him. And Samson lay till midnight, and arose at midnight, and took the doors of the gate of the city, and the two posts, and hey, I don't know about this, but the doors of the gate of the city, that's probably big ass doors, man. And the two posts, do you know how heavy it is? So he was very strong, man. And went away with them, bar and all, and put them upon his shoulders, and carried them up to the top of an hill that is before Hebron. That is how strong he is, man. And it came to pass afterward that he loved a woman in the valley of Sorek, whose name was Delilah. And the lords of the Philistines, which the Philistines are Hamites, the real Africans, came up unto her, and said unto her, entice him, basically persuade him, lock him, let him do this, entice him, and see wherein his great strength lieth, and by what means you may prevail against him, that you may bind him to afflict him. And we will give thee every one of us 1,100 pieces of silver. So they wanted to kill him, and they wanted to use Delilah to get his secret out of him, why he was so powerful. And what's crazy, me reading this in the morning, I read Matthew chapter 26, and that is where Judas, sold Yahushai, or he basically snitched on Yahushai for 30 pieces of silver, okay, which eventually Yahushai got killed for that, for what he did, when he gave him up. Here, they was gonna give Delilah 1,100 pieces of silver each. You know, that's a big difference. So that shows you also what Judas did was so low, you know. It's crazy, man. Anyway, verse 6, and Delilah said to Samson, tell me, I pray thee, wherein thy great strength lieth, and wherewith thou mightest be bound to afflict thee. So Delilah, of course, knowing that Samson is in love with her, you know, maybe this was a pillow talk, whatnot, you know. She was thinking like, maybe I can let him tell me why he is so powerful, you know, his secret, because I really want that money, you know. She wanted money. And Samson said unto her, if they bind me with 7 green withs that were never dried, then shall I be weak and be as another man. So that is what he was saying, like, if they do this, I will be weak as the normal man, the average man. Then the lords of the Philistines brought up to her 7 green withs which had not been dried, and she bound him with them. Okay, so she herself bound him with those things. Now there were men lying in wait, abiding with her in the chamber. And she said unto him, the Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And he brake the withs, and as a thread of a tow is broken when it toucheth the fire, so his strength was not known. That's how strong he is, man. And Delilah said unto Samson, behold, thou hast mocked me and told me lies. So basically, Samson did not tell her the truth yet. Okay? He didn't tell her the truth yet about his strength. And I believe he was asleep, you know, when she was binding him. Otherwise, he would already have known that she was trying to betray him. It says, now tell me, I pray thee, wherewith thou mightest be bound. And he said unto her, if they bind me fast with new ropes that never were occupied, then shall I be weak and be as another man. So now he tells her, yeah, okay, this is my secret. Delilah therefore took new ropes and bound him therewith. So again, man, the woman that he loves, you know, still for the second time is trying to go against him for some money. And said unto him, the Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And there were liars in wait abiding in the chamber, and he brake them from off his arms like a thread. So again he escaped out of it. And Delilah said unto Samson, hitherto thou hast mocked me and told me lies. Tell me wherewith thou mightest be bound. And he said unto her, if thou weavest the 7 locks of my head with a web, and mind you, this is not locks as in Rasta, he did not have Rasta, okay? And she fastened it with a pin, and said unto him, the Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And he awaked out of his sleep, you see, so he was sleeping when she did this. Otherwise, he would have known that she was going to betray him. And went away with the pin of the beam and with the web. So 3 times he did not tell her the truth, okay? And she said unto him, how canst thou say, I love thee, when thine heart is not with me? Thou hast mocked me these 3 times, and hast not told me wherein thy great strength lieth. And it came to pass, when she pressed him daily with her words, and urged him, so that his soul was vexed unto death. So she kept on pressing him, like, tell me, what is your strength? Tell me, what is the secret? Tell me, you know. That he told her all his heart, and said unto her, there had not come a razor upon mine head. For I have been a Nazarite unto God from my mother's womb, you know, before he was born even, if I'm correct. If I be shaven, then my strength will go from me, and I shall become weak and be like any other man. So if his hair was going to be taken away, then he was going to be weak. And when Delilah saw that he had told her all his heart, she sent and called for the lords of the Philistines, saying, come up this once, for he had shewed me all his heart. You see the wickedness of the woman? You know, you have to imagine the conversation between them. He was high in his emotion, you know, and he told her all his heart, you know, in confidence and in trust, you know, that it would be between them. And she probably, you know, crying of joy, like, you know, I'm very happy you told me this, you know, I feel like our love is getting stronger. Shit like that, you know. And when Delilah, and when Delilah saw that reading on. Then the lords of the Philistines came up unto her, and brought money in their hand. And she made him sleep upon her knees. And she called for a man, and she caused him to shave off the 7 locks of his head. And she began to afflict him, and his strength went from him. You see, so this was the actual secret. And she said, "The Philistines be upon thee, Samson." And he awoke out of his sleep and said, "I will go out as the other times before and shake myself." So he thought, I still have my strength. And he was not that the Lord was departed from him. Okay, because if I'm correct, before he was going to be born, there was a certain oath that he was not to shave his head. Okay. And now that it happened, basically the power left him too, man. But the Philistines took him and put out his eyes and brought him down to Gaza. Damn. Wait a minute. They took him and put out his eyes. They took his eyes out, if I'm correct. That's crazy, man. And brought him down to Gaza and bound him with fetters of brass. And he did grind in the prison house. Howbeit the hair of his head began to grow again after he was shaven. Then the lords of the Philistines gathered them together for to offer a great sacrifice unto Dagon their god, pagan god, heathen, from these Hamites, and to rejoice, for they said, "Our God had delivered Samson our enemy into our hand," which the word God means power, so their so-called God, their demon, is what they was worshiping. And when the people saw him, they praised their God, for they said, "Our God had delivered into our hands our enemy, and the destroyer of our country, which slew many of us." And it came to pass, when their hearts were merry, that they said, "Call for Samson, that he may make us sport." And they called for Samson out of the prison house, and they made him sport, and they set him between the pillars. So they was mocking him even, man. Now, before I continue in the story, I want to grab a scripture on the subject I was speaking about. Like, don't tell your woman everything, man. Speaking for myself also, sometimes you catch yourself. Don't teach her evil lesson against yourself. This is Micah chapter 7, verse 5. "Trust ye not in a friend, put ye not confidence in a guide. Keep the doors of thy mouth from her that lieth in thy bosom." Now, what is your bosom? Your bosom is your chest. So the one that lays on your bosom, basically your lover, the one that you are in love with, your woman. Don't tell her everything, man. Keep the doors of their mouth. Don't tell her all your business as a man. All right? She might use it against you. That is what the women nowadays be doing, man. Very evil. Okay? So let's go to Sirach chapter 9. Sirach chapter 9 verse 1, it says, "Be not jealous over the wife of thy bosom, and teach her not an evil lesson against thyself." Okay? You might know all these scriptures, and thinking you can trust your woman in telling her everything. But, she might use them against you. Okay, eventually. "Give not thy soul unto a woman to set her foot upon thy substance." You see, don't let her come in a position that you can take away your things, man. For example, with your house also, it's in our best interest actually not to do this, man. But every situation is different, of course, Some brothers might, be living with their wives, others might be living apart, "Meet not with an harlot, lest thou fall into her snares. Use not much the company of a woman that is a singer, lest thou be taken with her attempts." We should be careful also with the women that can sing good, okay, because they can persuade you easy. It's beautiful, when they sing, of course. Anyway, "Gaze not on a maid, that thou fall not by those things that are precious in her. Give not thy soul unto harlots, that thou lose not thine inheritance." So this chapter goes into, a lot of things concerning the woman, man. It's a very good chapter. Judges chapter 16. Let me finish this because it's gonna end almost. Let me see. Judges 16. Verse 26. "And Samson said unto the lad that held him by the hand, Suffer me that I may feel the pillars whereupon the house standeth, that I may lean upon them." So he was like, "Hey, I'm tired, man." They already took his eyes out. He was leaning on the pillar right now to rest, so-called, the pillar of that so-called stadium. I don't know really what it is. The prison house. Sorry, the prison house. Now the house was full of men and women, and all the lords of the Philistines were there. And there were upon the roof about 3,000 men and women that beheld while Samson made sport. And Samson called unto Yahweh Bashem Yahushai and said, O Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, remember me. Basically said Yahweh, remember me, I pray thee, and strengthen me, I pray thee, only this once, O Yahweh, that I may be at once avenged of the Philistines for my 2 eyes. So he was praying to the Most High that he could get revenge on these people, man. Thousands of people mocking him, took his eyes out even. Yeah, man, crazy, crazy. And Samson took hold of the 2 middle pillars upon which the house stood. So the pillar is like something that the house, is standing upon, for example, that keeps it stable from falling. And on which it was borne up, of the one with his right hand, and of the other with his left. And Samson said, let me die with the Philistines. And he bowed himself with all his might. And the house fell upon the lords, and upon all the people that were therein. So the dead which he slew at his death were more than they which he slew in his life. Remind you, he was very strong. He killed a lot of people. But this act that he did, he took even more people with him, than in his life, man. So this is basically the revenge that he got at the end. Even though his own woman betrayed him. Reminding you, don't tell all your business to your woman, man. She's there to support you, of course, and things. Sometimes you want to lay out your heart. But you also got to remind yourself, like, hey, even though I'm high in my emotion right now, let me not tell her this, okay? So the dead, verse 31, and then his brethren and all the house of his father came down and took him and brought him up and buried him between Zorah and Estaol in the burying place of Manoah his father. And he judged Israel 20 years. So I hope it was edifying. With that, I want to give all praises and the highest honor to the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. I want to give double honor to my elder apostles and teachers of Great Millstone, and peace and salutation to the sincere Akim across the world, who has spread his knowledge in truth and sincerity, and may the election be upon your households. Shalom.